fire what you're saying.
Yes, I read that, blazing.
Serious thing. We are here again. Everyone is confused with the time. If you're unaware by now, hopefully it's this. Hope you're aware now. If you're on the East Coast at the time when it is, so it's the spirit problems on the side with this time thing. Everyone listening, we give thanks for you guys tuning in from those times till now, right? I have to give you some friendly reminders. Make sure you check out Far Right EP, Disrupting the Status Quo. Also, anyone who wants to hear some nice roots rock reggae music on a Sunday, check us out. I Never Knew Radio. I am spinning WLOI.org from 9 to 11. And if you get free time, check us out, INeverKnewTV.com, right? Yes, we're here on the YouTube. Make sure you check out the website. Check us out. Share it with a friend. Have a binge vibe. And, hopefully you learn something. Fire, what we're reasoning about today?
So today we are reasoning about a very interesting topic. We talk about capitalism in the rich people versus capitalism in poor people. Because oftentimes the actions where poor people carry out are people with up on the lower end of the economical scale. Them not overstand say the same capitalism them are insinuating, but because for them system is developed on different things, them not overstand say the same exact individualism them a carry out. So really want to show how it manifests in a one set of people versus manifesting in another set of people. And ways, all different ways, how we look upon it, and how we can even get to self-out it too.
There's an idea that, and it's propagated through literature, film, and now on social media, that there's a difference between the rich and poor in regards to their mind frame. And there is no difference. All right. Listen, you got to be a very strong person and work on yourself too. We're all corrupted by capitalism. We all have the stain of capitalism on our psyche. Some is less than others. Those who work on themselves, those who take a different walk and don't engage in certain activities. Now, the reason I said that is that there seems to be there's always, especially in film, like the rich and the poor, right? You have the rich and you have the poor. The difference is in regards to the materials they can acquire, but the mind frame is still the same. The poor still has the same spending practices, but they're relegated to purchase only what they can afford or get on their credit card. Now, here goes the kicker. Once they're able to acquire more money, what do they do, Far Eye? They buy more goods, and they look for a way to exploit others to increase their profits. Capitalism. A great this is not funny, so I ain't gonna laugh when I say this. Great example of capitalism is prostitution and pimping from both sides. Now, in the arena of prostitution, a lot of times the pimp is the one who gets the brunt of the criticism, but the purchaser of the service doesn't necessarily get as much criticism as they should. Because capitalism is about what, Far Right? Exploitation. Is it not? So what's more exploitive than taking advantage of someone in a destitute situation or in a control situation? They don't have control over their body again, and taking advantage of that and paying that for your sexual fulfillment.
And everything for profit, man. I must say everything for profit, when we really stand amazed by capitalism, because enough people might hear the term and them not understand. Like, it's just basically an economic and a political structure we're owned by individuals, and it's owned by individual companies for the sake of profit. And what we not understand is that while the consumption part of the thing might vary, as they say, the consumption might vary due to limitations. And then, even though I still think, say, you have people who in the upper bracket when it comes to finances, them not consume as much as poor people still. But that mindset, and the mindset really are focused on the reasoning where is the mindset is not a normal thing, because you have, well, is that hear about this crab in a barrel mentality. I would think about the crab in a barrel mentality where there's such a pull on one and like normally associated with poor people, but and I say people because them resources so limited and them live a minimalist lifestyle. That are the reason why them have the crab in a barrel mentality. But if we look on the opposite end of this spectrum with people who are earn so much different things, you have so much company, we are compete against them one another for the same amount of consumers them, for the same amount of profit, for earn this a particular amount of in revenue per year time. So and them have different strategies where them deploy to ensure that them can gain this particular profit. So that competition where them always have, it's not necessarily a healthy competition. While it might look like it's a healthy competition, and because we are from the financial perspective, so look on numbers where them are making, look how them these Fortune 500 companies and they're so successful. But when we think on the other end, how poor people behave, every single thing right to poor people is like a competition. Same way if I like we're competing to sell. Right. Yeah, why we are competing against ourselves so much different time, and we can't really farm no unison. The man them at the top not really want them unified overall, you know. But in the sense of everybody want to make outdo the next person to make more profit. But the way them go about it now go so extreme or it now go so violent in the sense where because them realize say if violence will come into play, it will affect the profit. And them so them can't really deploy the whole violent persona, while the poor people on the other end, them are deploy the violent persona because them not think about nothing where them have to lose. Them only think about
no, fire a couple of things, right? One, I forgot who wrote it, but they speak about how the oppressed always adopts all the characteristics of the oppressor, right? So we have to keep that in mind. In our society, you're constantly told every day that your self-worth and your position in society is based on the things that you purchase. Obviously, marketers are aware that they pop that out. They don't sell brands, they sell lifestyles. Polo is the greatest example of that. Growing up, if you had a polo on, you can have no food in your house. You can be broke as I don't know what, but your self-esteem will be risen like something's going on, because that's the job that they do in regards to the mind frame. The unfortunate aspect about the corruption that capitalism brings to the mind of people is, as you said before, that individual tribe, that inability to understand that things will be better with a collective approach. I have to do better. No one else is supposed to do better. I'm the only one that's supposed to be winning. And if you are winning or decide to even pursue anything positive, you'll be met with such rage and disdain and criticism, because we can't allow anyone to get out of this thing. If anyone gets out of this thing, it's going to be me or no one at all. So it's destroyed the whole community approach to life. It's still in certain places. And I will say this. I notice in the country in Jamaica, they still have that vibe. Certain country areas, certain country communities, they're not as tainted as obviously it's probably not like it was when my grandmother grew up, but they're not like that city vibe where they really internalize the principles of capitalism. There is a collective spirit there. There is a support system there. Not like in the city, it's different. They really embrace capitalism, which I've been exposed to in Jamaican cities, right? Another aspect of this whole another whole aspect of capitalism is the violence, Farai, because I know you mentioned earlier the companies, they may not be violent with each other, but there's a sense of violence there indirectly, because corporations in their nature have to be violent. And when I mean violent, I mean like blowing someone's head out. I mean in the level of competition. So it has to be borderline violence. Like they'll do any and everything to win, to destroy their competition, to increase their profits. Now, because it's the same concept, it's the same mind frame, right? But it's just executed in a different way. Their winning may be who gets the most attention, assassinating your character, being the coolest one. I wanted to jump back real quick, and I forgot to say this when you mentioned this earlier, in regards to one of the key components of capitalism is the minority controlling the majority. You see that in smaller ecosystems in certain areas where you have a small group of people who would literally control the majority, whether it's in regards to this small group has all the respect, or this small group has all the resources, or this small group has all the power. So it's the same, it's just the same concept for it. You know, it's just like whatever power they can attain within their area, they attain it and they have control over it, and they hold it with an iron fist, and they're not letting it slip away for whatever reason. One can argue police practice capitalism to the highest extent. Because it's tied in, Fire. Because look, if you know you have absolute power, right, and you tied in with the attorney and all that, that's the heights of capitalism.
Police naturally have to carry out capitalism. They must enforce of capitalism still. So that the one that them not really have a choice. So if I made back, what the way the people, the way the police system setting up. When them even say, like in New York and certain other places, them say them serve and protect. Or serve and protect. They must serve and protect the interest of the higher system, the capitalists. They must serve and protect the interest of, because the way the political system said, they must protect the politicians and the politicians' agenda, but not necessarily the people's agenda. So they are enforcers of the upper class, the upper tier. So they are enforcers of the capitalism structure itself. While if it means how the police operate, no one can say for sure, the way it means how the police operate and means how gangsters operate, them have a similar way how them operate, because gangsters are uphold the interests of freedom system within them community and freedom system in regards to the underworld, the criminal underworld, and that's what them do. So you have the youth them where them would call that the regular foot soldier them would be the police them who them carry out the work of them done. For them done would that be like the politicians or the man them will control the certain businesses, because of them can bring in the income and the revenue. So the same way how them operating up. But if I really check out gangster world, them actually use the world system, in them gangster world, But enough people now meditate it. It's just that one is certified, because certified within this particular system where we know the structured system, and one is not certified, so they would call it the black market and the underworld. But are the same actions that carry out. And the people them not overstand say, all of this individualism where we are carry out for it not benefit we. It not benefit we, because we only look out for ourselves. We not look out for the interest as a collective. I wouldn't really overstand say that at them they are the things them where alone can make we strive. Like if we really come together in a unity and start organize certain things, that's all right, and start delegate certain things and realize certain areas of expertise. So you have that career, me have that career. I will start pool resources, as they say. Then would I realize the benefits of how we could have strived. But it's like the people them idolize the man them where them see a fight against themselves from a corporate standpoint, and because the man they make finances, and finances are the pinnacle and the main point of everybody's life. Everybody start lose control, but the man them where them are idolizing, them can't carry out the same behaviors where the man they carry out. Them can't earn the same revenue.
They try
so them try, but them members say them not in place. Them not in the place, or them not in the position for make them things that happen. So what going on now is that for them reward end up different. You see me I say? And the individualism where we carry out now from the lower end of the spectrum, the rewards them we are get from them type of individualism, that's not a revenue. It's not a revenue we are coming to place. What really coming to place, it cause broken homes, broken communities. You see me as a broken mindset and a broken world, so to speak, because we don't understand the power we have as the majority when they're on the lower end of the spectrum. I wouldn't realize that the system we generate up at the top, it generate based off of we. So we idolize all of these capitalists, all of these mindset and all of these principles where the capitalists them set into place, but what it really do for we. But at the same actions we are carry out no matter what we want to see it. So even when we are blame the big man and I say, see there, look what the system stay, and just him get to because him up the sun, him have friends in the high places. But want to we too. Remember say in our system, even at the ghetto you have friends in high places too, but you know look on it the way there. Because when you link with the Dan over there, so or you link with the politician over there, so or you link with whoever in your circle. There's a caste system where I go on and they get the same way. And you know overstand say you play a role in a particular caste system that go on and the ghetto, and it's still the same capitalistic mindset you carry out. It's just not on that big grand scale as the man in the white collar man. But at the same form of crime I go on. At the same type of mindset and the same type of things that I go on.
No, reality, man. And the next thing too, man, with this capitalism thing is that it gives people a short-term view of life. They don't look at things from a long term, and because of that, yes, the actions are individualistic, right? But at the same token, they don't care about the future far right. They don't care about no one else, and they don't care about nothing with no future. They're not thinking how these actions affect anyone around them, and it's going to affect the future. I remember reasoning with someone, right? And the man told me straight, we were talking about people eating. I always talk about people be eating up the earth, right? I was just saying it's too much stuff in the supermarket. Man say he don't care because he won't be here. As an educated man, well, supposedly educated, but that's their mind frame of the average American. They don't care. I don't care because I won't be here. And if you talk to the average person, that's the vibe that they're on. No one cares. People only care about themselves. And you're taught to do that every day. You're only supposed to think about yourself. So I don't see how I don't see with that type of approach and that mind frame, how that's supposed to work long term. That's why it's so hard for people to maintain relationships, because they don't care about anyone but themselves. If they're not benefiting from it, they don't care.
The only difference what I notice about capitalism in the top tier versus the low tier, one main difference I notice is that like the people them at the top who revenue driven, them realize say collaboration is necessary. So them we hate them one another, but them realize the collaboration is necessary, and these two brands have to come together. So say like you realize, like for instance, I'm not gonna say Gucci and Adidas hate them one another, but just an example, Gucci realize say them have this a luxury brand. Them have them particular type of crowd and audience. Yeah, they have Adidas now. Adidas also have the sport audience, and them have audience who consume on a different rate, and them consume at lower prices. So what if we merge the two of them, and take it from the extreme top tier end and put it in a mid range where it above the average cost of the regular Adidas, but it below the average cost of Gucci shoes. And they will put it in a mid-range now, so it no longer costs $3,000, and it no longer costs $100 with the Adidas to be a $800 bracket, $800 tier. They meet a whole new consumption group, and then the whole new consumption group, they will then meet, believe me, the rate where them consume things, the fact that them believe that them can be a part of the upper tier while still being themselves, it give them a new identity. So the fact that it give them a new identity, them buy it more and it out of stock very quickly. So you see the way how them man they meditate things and think about collaboration, while the people on the lower tier them not prefer collaborate on a strategic way there.
Let me break it down in layman's terms. It's white people far right. What I've learned is, right, in regards to the difference between dealing with black people and white people in regards to business, as you stated, the mission and the profit always trumps their feelings and relationships. And that is not a part of our culture. If anybody have an issue with anybody, they're not working with them again. Or they don't want to do nothing with them again. That is our culture. Or if they feel that you're benefiting a millimeter more than them, they don't want to do it. If they're not the only one benefiting and you're benefiting, they don't want to do it. What I learned with the other side, even if the benefit is unbalanced or unequal, as long as there's a benefit for both sides, they will execute the plan and they will work together, because the mission and the profits exceeds emotions and relationships. And that is an aspect of our culture that is so detrimental. I don't like you. We both can have great ideas. We both could really benefit each other. We both could really build something where we could make profits for 5, 10, 15 years. But I don't like you. So I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna throw away the whole opportunity because I don't like you. And that's just what it is with our culture. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. That's the next thing. So, more people in the younger generation are doing better. Hopefully, more can do better. But like, there has to really be a situation where I don't know. we
For,
we need, we need to go ahead. Go ahead.
let me say first and foremost, them need for overstand say, come on, we go all a reasoning about this role model thing very soon too, but I realize that most people on the lower level, them just automatically bash people on the higher level, see? Not realizing say them actions similar. So the first thing ones need to do is overstand say them a carry out the similar activity. If you feel like you have a little bit, you need individualism still enough. But individualism can't be the majority. Can't be the majority of your thoughts. You have to be individual in the sense where you think about yourself. But you have to understand say if you just approve just for yourself, then it in the long run it not gonna benefit you.
I just want to say one thing for individualism versus selfishness. I think that has to be the clarification in regards to, obviously you want to do what's good for yourself, but it can't be you're the only one benefiting all the time. I think that's the approach people have. I'm the only one who is supposed to benefit. Like, I'm the only one who is supposed to benefit from the situation. I think that's the approach many people have, unfortunately, and you can see it because there's no long term for it. And I want to make a comment, and I want to be clear when I say this. I'm not saying like on no Bible vibe because everything catches up with people, because everything doesn't catch up with people. Some people do some crazy stuff their whole life and they just do it. But what I have noticed in my experience, the people who have screwed me over financially, their run was very short. And it's just based on the formula that they use. Untrustworthy, ostracizing people. They're just building up a bad brand and it just catches up. For me personally. So I'm not saying, if a person screws you over with money, they're not going to get through, because some probably are getting through, and somebody been screwing people over for money for a very long period, and that's their MO. I'm just saying me personally, right? Because their approach was they're the only ones supposed to benefit. They don't care about anything or anyone else. And also, they didn't have the skill set to generate money. Their skill set was screwing people over.
Fox, that fair.
And that skill set run out kind of quick,
Fox, it can't last long because enough people overstand. So you need people for go around. I saw the earth go around, and you need people in your corner for the earth go around. And if you just think by yourself and you think about for the screw over people, it can't benefit you for you, because you're gonna end up get the benefit where you need in the long run. Not that you help people or you work with people solely for the sense of a benefit, but you have to understand how the world works. The world is a cycle. It sounds rhetorical, but it's not really a statement of overlook for you, because as a people help people, and I saw the system being set from morning, and we have to understand them things the fire. You a little bit of yourself, a little bit of people, a little bit of yourself, and you keep them things they rotating. I want to keep rotating them things they know. You realize how life work for you. It's not just you alone existing in the ecosystem for you. You have to sure respect every single thing that exists in the ecosystem and can make things move. Just as though you make somebody get a benefit, so somebody can make you get a benefit, because you can't get the benefit all by yourself. And if you feel like you can get benefit all by yourself, it's just pride and ego attack. I want to overstand. Because you see this cannibalism thing in a lower tier people, it mash up the whole meditation, and one thing where the people them not overstand enough, that's not a natural thought, The whole cannibalistic mentality we have as a people, it's not a natural thought for a capitalism we get it from. I want to overstand a capitalism we get it from, because me use an example already in one of the, in a mixtape and some other thing, and I explain to people what is marketing cannibalism. But probably want that fire over enough people head to. Marketing cannibalism, you can use a company like Starbucks as the main example. You use Starbucks within a 5-mile radius, you can see a next Starbucks. Within a same, so them saturate the market. And by saturating the market, It don't matter if this store have just 10 people while the store could hold 100 people. Them just curious say that 100 people were overall in the area. What we are gonna do? It don't matter, we can split the 20 people like each of the 5 store them. And that at the same 100 people. But wait do know, it make we have a presence. And the presence that we have, it may cannibalize the whole market and dominate the whole presence. So guess what now? People now go only come in our store because them want to we are sell. Rather them want, there's an ambience or share, we will become a part of the environment. And from we become a part of the environment, automatically, and you associated with we. What we are going to know, we start control your mind. So every single time you think about these particular locations, you yourself calculate how far each of them there and want to be a part of the ambience. It's like you crave it now. So the same cannibalistic mentality we are carry out in ourselves, and we don't overstand. Say our capitalism a drive them thing the way. We want to be the one who in control of this. We want to be in control of this. We want to be in control of all of these things. And now I realize say it a drain you out fire, it a drain you out. But while it not drain them out because them have the resources we can back that. So even if that store not particularly make that, it have a purpose so it has served towards them driving more revenue in the long run. But we know copy the particular cannibalism and overstand say it not benefit we because we don't have them type of resources there. So you see, following the type of cannibalistic mindset, or not having that resources, it lick we down because we don't understand how the system work and what even give with them thought in the first place.
But I think, and I know you're breaking it down from a business standpoint, but I think the application to people is in regards to how they interact with people in regards to controlling certain situations, that dominance in the household. I think that like, for men, for example, right? You know that a lot of men, well, I don't say a lot of men, but men, right, are abusive and very rough in the household. But the reason is that that's their sense of control because they're in an environment with no control. So as a capitalist, as you just stated, right, we would transfer that principle in regards to that area where obviously they're not going to get that type of frustration to their boss or to their overseer or whoever's in charge. So their dominance would be in the family in a negative light. You know, so the concept doesn't necessarily transfer to a monetary standpoint because the average black person is not dealing with business, but it does transfer in regards to their behavior, their approach, and how they deal with each other. You know, so anyone listening, hopefully you can look into certain behaviors you do and just see, why do I do this and where is this idea coming from? You'll be shocked, like when you really sit down within yourself, and you don't have to read 20 books to understand capitalism. Just look at the definition of capitalism, right? And really meditate and think about, how is this impacting my behavior? What areas of my life where I'm, and as far as I said, there are some aspects of your life you should be selfish too, right? To a certain extent, but you shouldn't be so selfish where you're the only person benefit. And I think that like the same approach we have with the earth in regards to just eating up everything. I think obesity is the heights of capitalism, Fire. People probably don't want to hear it, but you're just consuming too much. Unless you have a disorder, the weight is there from eating. You're eating too much. You're just overeating, bro. Your body can't process it. The fat is not burning. You're not exerting the amount of energy that you're giving, and therefore you're just eating too much. You're eating more than you need. To your detriment, to the detriment of, to your detriment, to the detriment of your family, to the detriment of the healthcare system. And you're only thinking about what you want to eat and the fact you want to eat all day. What things are your life? What things, I had to do this for myself. That's the thing. Listen, when I tell you these things, I'm telling you things I had to, what aspects of my life was I over consuming? And why am I doing it? Just for the fact that I could do it? Or is it a vibe that I'm better than others because I can do it? These are things I had to ask myself, like, why am I doing this? Some people think, yes, we have the food, we have the clothes. The car, all right, some of these people, car notes is too expensive, yeah. Car note eating up majority of your check. Why?
because capitalism is based on image. Image, and you are carry out the very things. So we have to be very careful of. We have to just always make sure so we be very careful of propagating and strengthening the same system where we complain about and where we emulate. Because we always emulate the system, but yet still we blame the same system for it. Oh, is that even possible? So yeah,
all right,
very fearful of that.
You know what? Here's what I'm saying anyway. You want to see the heights of capitalism? Check out a reggae artist when he start, and check how he look 10 years later. Check the way he dress, then check him 10 years later. If you want to understand capitalism, because the mind was already tainted with the capitalism fire. You just didn't have the resources to fully partake. Once they have the resources to fully partake, fire, they gonna partake worse than anyone that's out there. The same people. The only reason majority of these people criticize these people because they don't have what they have. It's like politics. A lot of these people that criticize the politicians, they would do way worse, and they do much worse when they get that position. The only reason they criticize is because they don't have the power. But once they get the power, fire, judgment.
Fox. Well, I'm telling you, man.
A person I really respect, the one that have it and hold it.
I still a whole firm.
And when I say hold it, I don't mean being a miser for anyone listening. I'm talking about holding in regards to living a certain standard and maintaining that certain standard. And just because they can buy the Gucci or the Louis Vuitton or driving a Range Rover, they choose not to. Because one, they understand its foolishness. And also, two, as far as I was saying, I think we need to clearly, it was a great senator I read a book about. He was explaining why, this is what messed up my meditation a while ago. He was explaining why he drove a Toyota. If I were to drive a Range Rover, right, I'm accepting that Range Rover is a status symbol, and I guess I'm trying to partake in that status symbol. But also, the message I'm giving to my child and the message I'm giving to my peers. What is the justification of me purchasing that car outside of status? Can we truly argue and say the car is going to get me there quicker? No, it's the status we're purchasing. People don't want to hear that, right? They get real frustrated. I remember that conversation.
Kind of lie to themselves.
I remember I had a conversation with somebody, and they got real dark with me. But I was just telling them, there's no justification for the purchase of that item outside of the status that it represents. The belt. There's no justification for you because, first of all, you can't even afford it. But you're purchasing what it represents because the masses has been propagated to believe that you're of a certain social status or you're of a certain level of coolness because you have this item. And because you want this, you purchased it. There's no other reason for it. A man can't tell me on a certain tried anywhere in certain things. That's like I come up to your place for our one diamond chain. That don't correlate. That don't correlate with the mission that I'm on or the message that I'm giving. That's like, yeah, people there, they pastors or they working for the people and they got on Gucci shoes. I go see them at the panel, they got on Gucci shoes at the panel. How does add up? And I want to be clear for all my ignorant people out there. I ain't telling nobody to go get a quality shoe for much cheaper. But you don't have to get that particular shoe with the emblem on it and the signage on it. Why are you doing that? You know,
well, promote that. Them have to say status people have status promote that particular brand or associate with that brand. So you have to be a part of it.
You know? So it's just that vibe. So I think growing in your journey, when you start getting some money, just hold it, fire. And just do what you're doing, and you don't have to partake in these things if that's truly the try that you want, because it's going to strengthen you. And you'll be more financially stable. Because what I've learned in my short life is that I've yet to see, and listen to what I'm saying now. Listen to what I'm saying, fire. And I'm not, we can't even use these extreme, everything with us, we like to use extreme cases, and even they flop. I've yet to see an insecure person with stable finances. I never said I never saw an insecure person make money. You hear what I'm saying, far right? I just want to be clear.
Yeah, man, it's very clear. Man.
All right.
Very clear.
Right? So I'm not saying I never saw an insecure person make money. But in my experience, right? And true Hollywood could tell you this too. I've never saw an insecure person with stable finances reason that their decisions are not made from a rational approach
Irrational.
that will be beneficial for them long term. They're constantly blowing in the wind, moved over here and over here with the trends, looking for social acceptance, also looking for spiritual fulfillment through purchasing items. That's the next rabbit hole you don't want to go down. Because if the last pair of shoes made you feel so good about yourself, why do you need another pair and you're not even wearing those shoes? Far right. Yo, you know the average person only wears 3 jeans, right?
Well, I'm telling you, man.
If that. You should not have so much clothes that you need storage. I'll say it again. You should not have so much clothes that you need storage. It's an addiction. I have to buy more stuff. You know, you're wearing the old stuff. And sometimes due to their lifestyle, they can't fit the old stuff. And I understand that. So everything need to tie up, keep yourself fit, keep yourself at a certain weight that you can wear your clothes over a duration of time.
The rich man addicted to producing, addicted to supplying the goods, while the poor man addicted to buying the goods or demanding the goods. So that are the economics. We need to understand the role we are playing at the same capitalist economics.
We overdue for all money reasoning, yeah, because hey, you have some, let's say this done. You have some people that feel they have to spend money, yeah. Like if they leave the house with $200, they have to spend $200. Like the mission, not accomplished, and they ain't spending $200.
Same addiction to finances, fire like the same addiction to money, fire like the addiction to money. It crazy because that's why I say capitalism in rich people versus poor people. Straight addiction to money. Then I so comes the addiction in up state so and get higher and higher in a fire because the people them addicted to getting the money so them can spend it. Yes, me I say, while the next man addicted to getting the money so him can invest more for gonna make people spend on the product them we might create. It tie in.
All right. I don't even know about no making money, far right. They addicted to spending because not no money there. Far the average salary when you down, ain't nothing there. I was like, if you
that
50 grand, right? You figure with taxes and health care, that probably puts you at like 30 for the year divided by 12. I don't know. Well, maybe if you live in like Midwest or something, or down south somewhere, but in these areas we live, fire, that can't work. That's why that credit card get wicked.
Yeah, gone overboard.
The credit card get wicked, yeah. And I promote using credit cards strategically to build up your credit. But next reasoning, fire. But we hope anyone listening here look into yourself and just see where these ideas, where you get these ideas from. Are these ideas and practices have a benefit long term? Are you the only one benefiting from your practices? And there was one more thing I wanted to say, far right. What areas of your life are you over consuming? That's just across the board. And like, this is not fat shaming. And I just want to be clear, but if you're eating too much, you have to figure out, I don't know if you need to go to therapy, I don't know what it is, but you need to figure out why you're eating so much. Why are you eating yourself in the grave? And there's something need to be done. Your quality of life would be better if you just change up your eating habits and start moving. I'm not an acceptance person with that. I'm not an acceptance person with body image if you have health problems. Now, if you're that size and you're an anomaly and you have all this size on you and you don't have any health problems, go knock yourself out. But that's 99.9% that's not the case. And not saying you can't have health problems and look be a trim person too. I'm not saying that. But when you have that weight, it comes with certain health problems. It does. Because if everybody was so... I want to get into that. If everybody was so acceptance of themselves, fire, what's all this cosmic and all this sucking out the fat and putting this fat all over the place then, yeah? If you was irie with your natural self. that industry wouldn't be booming if everybody was so comfortable with themselves. It don't make no sense. It's foolishness, yo. Well, only thing marketers are doing now is that society has shifted so much, they just present it as acceptable so they can sell you products. Mannequins big as I don't know what now in the stores, yo. Because they have to cater to you. And that's a sad sign of majority societies that size, right? What it mean. And I'm not fat shaming, yo. Because anytime you speak about weight now as fat, it's almost like talking about weight is worse than racism. Man could call me a monkey. Man could call me a nigga. He called me all this. He say somebody got with weight. Now you're the worst person on earth. People just encourage you to lose some weight and stop eating so much. You're not a bad person for it, but you need to tone down the eating, especially the younger. Listen. The younger people need to start early because one, it's hard to lose weight, right? And it's best you just stay above the in front of the curve. But it's like a lot of young people now have a lot of health issues that did not exist in young people 10, 15 years ago. And this comes strictly from eating fire. Not moving and eating. Sedated lifestyle, you know? So we give thanks for everyone tuned in right now. Look into yourself. You know, we all have to do. We're all growing. We're all improving. We challenge you. What areas of your life are you over consuming? It could be media. It could be video games. It could be eating. It could be negative thoughts. And stop trying to compete with people. Stop trying to compete with people for all right.
Yeah, let go of the individualism and start over say it's very important for have the collective for understand which part we get enough our habits them from to, you know, which part that come from, cause trickle downs. And if you check how capitalistic society work, it work off a trickle down, everything for them is trickle down and trickle down economy. So we have to understand all of these basics and realize that the habits them we will have, the consumption habits them we will have, the mentality we will have towards fighting against one another too. All of them things there, it kind of spurred from the system. So we need to understand that.
Serious thing.